Hey friends, your resident theme park employee here, and we have a doozy for you today. We made actual working lights and camera on a roller coaster. But first, we got some other stuff to do. Welcome to Shenaniganilandia here at Coaster Monkey Studios, and we got some good stuff for you. In this episode, we are basically tying up all of our loose ends with the first section of our theme park area. And there's a lot here that we need to do still before we can get to the final touches of our theme park area, such as the lighting, such as the lights on the coaster, the camera section. But it's an actual working camera. Well, it's an actual working flash. It's an actual working flash for the camera, not an actual camera. You know what I mean. Anyway, so here we are fighting with the path tool again. I'm telling you, I'm working so hard to get this path tool to be exactly what it needs to be. Trust me, there are points that it works great. I'm going to come out with, now that I'm 200 hours into the game, I'm probably going to do a recap video of the good, the bad, the ugly. Let me know in the comments below if you guys would like to see that. Totally going to make that happen. And that'll probably come out for this coming Sunday. But yeah, guess what today is? Officially, date of recording. I hate saying that, but it is what it is. On the date of recording, it's officially No, I'm lying. It's officially 10. No. It's 1 month. 1 month of Shenaniganilandia. Jesus, my numbers are all screwy. I'm sorry, it's the end of the day. I've had a lot of coffee, apparently. So, let's get into the video. So at this point, what I need to do is I need you to figure out what is this side in the first section of the theme park going to look like, right? We've already got a main section area with a promenade. We want to build this out too, and especially with the update coming on December 12th, we've got fireworks coming. So we want to start prepping kind of what that would look like for us when we do have fireworks. I mean, don't we need like an area for that, right? So we need a viewing area. So we're going to create a viewing area in the main section in the center, one on the left side when looking from the viewing area, or when looking from the firework area. One on the left side for the theme park, one on the right side for the water park. And yes, it's not going to be like those other water parks that close at 6 p.m. We have lighting. We can stay open until 8 p.m., 9 p.m. when the sun goes down. We're allowed. Okay. But I will be honest with you, looking at some of these temperatures, I don't know how these people are riding these water rides, because it's like 5 degrees Celsius. So it's a whole thing. Anyway, so as we're building this out, I got frustrated with the path tool, and I decided to just go old school with this and create a promenade for us that I mean, it's fake. You know, this is unusable. And it sucks that it is unusable, and maybe in the future we'll come back and we'll create something that is usable. Maybe once we get rid of the curbs on paths, because I'm assuming that will have to come, and maybe we put it coming in from the restaurant side. And then once we do that, we can kind of build out maybe an area that our guests would actually frequent. So, but we basically took all of these pieces here. I mean, this is like the continuing story, right? We've created this almost like pier kind of feeling for all of this, and this will bleed into the next area too once we expand on our theme park side of the park. We're gonna see this kind of motif move over into the next section of the park. Even though it's not the same theme like this Polynesian theme, it'll still work because the pieces are actually from that portion of the game, right? To kind of keep with that vibe and consistency in architecture. So, but here we are. We're just kind of basing out, as I booped the mic, sorry, as I'm building out the staircases and the different layers of this promenade. My thought process was, as I was building this out, like, what would the purpose of this be? And realistically, it's just another hangout spot. It's right next to the restaurant. It really is a viewing section for the fireworks eventually, and that'll be the goal. But we've also made it so that anybody can sit here, they can come and eat, they can just have like a spot to chill out. You know, I think of like Islands of Adventure that has like a couple of those spots within the park where there's just a chill moment, you know. And that's kind of what we're building here. You know, the whole goal is to just create that. So I cut a lot of this portion out because it was very repetitive, kind of laying out all of the pieces of the promenade. So we cut that out, but as you can see here, we're just laying out the ramp now, and this is going to be our ADA or accessibility access for those with disabilities or those who are differently abled, right? So we're creating this, and what we're thinking is, I was on stream, what we were thinking is how easy it's to just make a quick ramp, have the ramp come down, boom, boom, boom. I know the staircases look really steep. Thank you very much, Nitro, for pointing that out. I appreciate it. But the whole goal is that we're going to have a nice, simple ramp for our guests with disabilities or who are differently able to just make it right down the staircase and be super easy for them, right? And that's the goal here. One thing I did find it, challenging is just lining everything up, because I went freeform. There were no angle snaps on this. But again, super clean, super easy, and I hope it looks the part. I think it looks the part. I don't know if it fits into the area as much, but what I did, and you'll see when we get into the detailing portion of this, where I added a lot of that tropical foliage just to tie it into the whole Polynesian. Because again, the theme park as a whole, and I'm thinking to kind of how we themed my theme park this year, it's in the middle of the woods. Literally. And we themed it with tropical plants, because our entire theme park is, or the summer portion of the theme park anyway, is based on a tropical island. It's the beach. It's really that kind of energy. So we wanted to mimic that with the tropical plants in planters, tropical plants in pots and pottery around the area and around the section of the theme park, which I think worked perfectly. So really exciting we made it a month. I think this is my longest series yet. So don't laugh at me or knock me. But yeah, I think we're 10 episodes in. We've got a lot of progress going. Not 10 episodes, I'm sorry, a month in. We've got a lot of progress going. And well, I guess this is episode 10, isn't it? We're 10 episodes in. Look at that. You'd think I would know my own product. But anyway, so yeah, so it's really exciting to make it this far and kind of see this grow. I can't wait to get to the next section, because in the next episode, the next episode of Shenaniganilandia, we're gonna build out the next section of our water park, and I'm thinking we go pirate, right? I mean, that's the whole idea, right? We're on this island, right? So why not make it pirate? I think that could be really fun to do, and we make it, I don't know, maybe call it like Castaway Cove. I feel like that's a thing. Is that a thing in another park? Maybe it's called Castaway Cove? I don't know. It's a possibility. Castaway Cove. I'm going to have to Google that. If it is a thing, let me know in the comments. Maybe it's a thing and I don't know. But anyway, here we are. We're building out the ramp here, and this is kind of like, this is where I realized we've got a very large cliff from where our rides are and where our theme park is down to where the water is. So one thing I'm going to be doing as we continue to expand out around this river is bring the gradient down of our theme park and get us almost close to water level to say we don't have this massive cliff, right? And I think this is going to be all the entrance areas going to have this massive cliffside, and then as we get further down into the map, it's gonna go down further and closer to the water. It'll be down closer to water level. I think it's a little bit more reminiscent of kind of reality versus this massive cliffside. I can't think of any parks that have a massive cliffside like that over a river. So that's one thing that we're going to be working towards as we continue to build out this park. So what's going on the channel? So we're going to be doing, I'll do a 200 hours recap, kind of my thoughts on the game, and if you've been watching the series so far, you'll know kind of what my thoughts are and what I feel, where my frustrations really truly lie in the game, but where the successes are. There are so many successes in this game compared to the first one, and it's extremely exciting to kind of see the growth of where the game has been and where it's going. And I'm excited to see what the 12th brings us and with these new fixes and additions. And I can't wait to see, I mean, I'd love to see DLC. I'm waiting for DLC. I can't wait for it. You know, I want to see what they bring to the table and if they really do tap into some of those amazing creators out there that deserve the recognition from Planet Coaster 1. So as we're getting into this next section here, I'm kind of thinking about, okay, well, what is this? What's the purpose of this promenade? You know, what are we doing? So we're going to take our tables and our umbrellas that we have kind of within this whole area. I think the main accent color, the base color is the teal. The accent color is this like red-orange, right? So this is going to be the umbrella color that will kind of spam around this whole area. And I feel like we need more of these umbrella chairs around or the walkways, and maybe that's something we'll do when we revisit the theme park area in the future episodes after we've gone back and revisited our water park. So speaking of the water park though, I'm kind of excited. I'm excited. I have ideas, you know. I feel like I was starting to get a little burnt out here as we're reaching these last bits of the theme park. But now that we're moving back to the water park, I'm stoked. I have a massive idea for a wave pool. It's got a wave pool. There's going to be slides coming out of the wave pool. Like it's a whole thing. Well, not out of the wave pool, but you catch kind of what I'm picturing. Anyway, so check this out. Ready? Leaf. These chairs, these Adirondack chairs, Leaf created. I'm going to pop up on the screen here. You're going to see here is the creator page for it. Go subscribe to these chairs. They are fantastic. They've only got like 100 followers or subscriptions, 100 and something, and they're fantastic. I spam the entire front of this. I'm probably going to spam them around the water park as well when we get back over to the water park. Once we build out the lazy river, we'll have like a VIP section. Not a lazy river, I'm sorry. The wave pool with like a VIP section will be really cool, and these Adirondack chairs would be perfect for mom and dad to just sun on the water's edge, right, while the kids are playing in the water. But we started grabbing elements from the rest of our area here. And as you can see, you know, I think it's just, it keeps the consistency of the overall build here and the overall area. Now, once we move from here into the next section, it's going to be a change of scenery for sure. Here we are doing a trick with basically the same trick we talked about in the last episode by hiding benches into the ground. With this one, we took those benches and the bins and we've attached them to a scenery piece that is gridded, and then we took that and we shrunk that down into the ground. So it just made life easier for us to kind of spam out these path pieces on non-path areas of the park. Really great tip. You should definitely do that if you do build anything that is not on a path and you want to throw some maybe benches or bins on that area to make it feel more realistic or cohesive with the rest of your build. So spamming bins. So this is like a debate. I don't care what anyone has to say. At my theme park, there's a bin at every corner. There's a bin every 3 steps. There's a bench every 3 steps. I think one of the biggest complaints that we've gotten over the years at my park has been not enough shade, not enough benches, not enough bins. And we've overcompensated and we have them everywhere. And it's literally now, because it's like ingrained in my head to look for it, I notice it at every single theme park. Every single theme park has a surplus of bins, a surplus of benches, you know, and you need that in a park. And I think it's really important to make sure that you're supporting your guests' needs and asks by fulfilling that. And I think we're doing that pretty well. You know, one thing I did notice as I was filming the glamour shots for this video is that a lot of my guests have sunburn. What? I didn't know they got sunburned. So this is like a whole thing. So we're gonna have to go back and we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna do some research and figure out like what is the fix for the sunburn? Like do they need like sunscreen? Do I need to sell them sunscreen? Like where do I sell the sunscreen? I don't know where to get the sunscreen. It's a whole thing. I was having a moment. I'm not gonna lie, I was having a moment. So one of the best parts about this last video for this section, and yes, I know it is a filler episode, but it's not really a filler episode because we get a lot accomplished, but we need to do all of the lighting, and I didn't want to bore you by spamming the lighting across this whole area, so not the whole video, but there are portions of the video that I think are important, like this one, right? So this lamp post, or this light, It's the exact height of this post. If you wanted to use this post with the rope, lower the base of the lamp down to the top portion of the rope and it hides the base. Perfect, right? Super easy way for you to create a very quick and easy visual for your guests. And for the lighting. And the lighting just looks great. It gives like a nice warm hue, but it's not too yellow. It's not too white. It's like perfect color. In my opinion anyway. The other thing I did was I did lay out a lot of these light posts. And one thing we have around my park and around many of the other parks that I worked at is that we do have permanent lighting that is like your overhead casting down, flooding the area with light. So we do have that, and we spammed this whole section of the park with this type of light. Here we are adding the final touches of lighting on our roller coaster. It needed the final touches. So we did light the entire lift hill. We lit both of the brake runs. And then at the very end of this video, you're going to see us make our photo moment on the roller coaster where we use the new trigger setting on the coaster. And it's, when I tell you, simple, quick, easy, 1, 2, 3. Look how cool that looks real to me. That looks like nitro. You know what I mean? It's giving nitro energy. So another trick with these lights I thought was really fun is that if you layer a white hue and a yellow hue, you get this really nice soft white. And it's the right brightness because the lights are a little dim. So I was double layering the lights, one white, one yellow. Look, there you go. See, here I am now. I'm going through and I'm doing it to all of them because I really like the warmth that this colorway gives versus the cold of the light, the white light, right? And this is the mixture of both of those colors that creates this colorway. And look at that from above. Oh, it's just so sexy. So as we were working through this, obviously you saw the claw that was there. That's the ride that I built in the last episode that it wouldn't save correctly, and I couldn't move it. Nobody would go on it, so I had to rebuild it, and I'm glad I did because everywhere I looked across all platforms, across all search engines, is that ride does not have theming anywhere. It's literally just a ride sign that has been elevated at the apex of the ride. So super easy, super simple, and that's what we did. We kind of we went into our archives. And the Polynesian at Disney's resort, the Polynesian, has this sign that is kind of in this same shape. There is a bottom piece that almost looks like a 4-way. And at the top is like this cheeky god guy who's like this or whatever. And it says Polynesian across it. But we were not making the guy. It was not happening. Plus, we need to pay homage to our god, Kaulu. So who is Kaulu? Kaulu is the god of mischief and weather. So the whole idea is that Kaulu, he is tossed up a storm and there's water flowing around. So you'll see we have some of these elements that are in this teal. And we've got this swirl that goes behind the logo to represent that of a hurricane, right? So he's like the hurricane god. And we're going to keep it at that. We're going to call him the hurricane god. That's what he's called. Okay? But Kaulu, super fun idea. And I like the way that we shaped out this logo because we have the big U in the center, and the way the claw goes, it goes in a big U back and forth, right? So I really like the way this came out, this sign. It was super simple, super easy to make. Took me maybe an hour to just kind of get all of these, everything in, once it's built out, everything in place, everything planned out. I did build out a sign on the ground. I didn't show that because I didn't think it was necessary, but it's basically the sign on the ground, tilted back with some rocks at the base, just to give that massive entryway sign, because like we said, all of our major attractions, all of our attractions really are going to have an entryway sign. And I think that's one of the things that Cedar Fair does really well, or did really well before the merger. And hopefully they transition that over to the Six Flags parks as well, and creating these grand entrance moments for their coasters and their rides. So here we are. We're quickly building out, and we lost some footage here, but I'm okay with it because I was trimming it out anyway. We're building out a really quick and easy path cover for our queue cover, and we kept the roped wood because I feel like this ties us all back together to what we've been doing this whole time, which is this rustic kind of feel in the Polynesian or resort theming, right? So we took it and we built this out. We threw some fluorescent lights underneath, and that's it. Like, easy, basic, call it a day. There's nothing here that, you know, is to write home to mom about, and this is just basic architecture that we're building this out. And the other thing we wind up doing is we also line this with our paddle. As we've seen in the previous episodes, we have the paddle turned upside down. And that is our fence for this area. So you're going to see that coming up shortly. Unfortunately for these guests, though, they will have to step in and out from underneath the pergola as they're going through the queue. Or not pergola, the queue cover, because, well, I couldn't figure out a shape that would work for the path to get pulled out that far. Plus, I was fighting with the path tool again. I have a love-hate relationship with that path tool. Look, see that? I had to cut all this. This was 40 minutes of me fighting with the path tool. There's no way to just select that little corner. I've got to select everything around it, delete it, add, take away, subtract, move points around. It was just like, oh my God, the anxiety. I was having a moment. But we finally got there in the end. So, yay for us. But here we are with Kaulu. We're just going to wrap up this fencing around this. And we're going to move on to the next portion of the build for this section, which is going to be one of my favorite portions. And that is the quick and dirty mini mart. This was a 5 a.m. I'm not kidding you. I woke up at 5 a.m. I woke up with inspiration. And I jumped right on the computer, because when inspiration strikes and you're feeling that kind of lull, jump on it. So I was like, you know what? All of our buildings here, the other two buildings, they have cohesion between the two of them. The same type of roof, the same type of stucco. And what we wanted to do is I wanted to create literally the same kind of thing. But my issue was the height, right? How do I take a stand that already exists and then create height with it? That is cohesive and makes sense and is not overscaled. So we found a height that worked for the roof that went around, and there's like, oh, we've got this piece sticking up. Why don't we just grab a simple roof and throw it on top, call it a day, right? So for me in building this out, it really was put in the units, build this shape with the walls, and then find the height, the first height of the roof, and then the secondary height. Now, what's great about that secondary height is you can do a number of things with it. You can create a tower portion, you can create a balcony portion, you can create just a square roof with a trim along the top. So there's a number of ways you can really build that out to kind of build the shaping for your structure. One thing about this with roof is you would need something to hold it up, so we do put in supports underneath also. But it's simple. It's a 2x1 with building, 2x1 building. Ooh, these bistro chairs by Mufu Tea. Definitely need to find those on the workshop. They are fantastic. Mufu Tea killed it with these pieces. They are amazing, and I mean, I'm gonna use them all over this park as well. Like, these are just such an easy, simple thing to build out. Again, coming back to this now, like, I wanted to keep the same rustic vibe as we did for the other buildings. So I pulled all the pieces from our market, and the bazaar, and that was what built out this facade. You know, I kept it very simple, very clean and very quick and dirty. And that's probably the best way to explain it. This took 2 hours to build my quick and dirty mini mart. And I'm here for it. I'm here for this energy, right? I wish I could be inspired that quickly and just bang out a build. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm overly inspired, and it takes me 10 hours to build one building. And yes, there's an episode of that if you want to go back and check that out. Speaking of other episodes, guys, I go on live almost every single night. I'm going to be on live right after I film this for a couple of hours, digging into our water park. So I'm excited to step in and kind of celebrate 1 month of Shenaniganilandia with those of you. So for those of you in the future watching this, check out the live we filmed last night. Yeah, I know I'm silly, I'm crazy. But yeah, we go on live almost every night. And if you're not subscribed, I'm going to say it. I know I hate saying it. I say this in every video. But like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel. And by helping us drive more interest to the channel, I'll be able to create more content for you. That's the goal anyway. Here we are. Ooh, here we are. Okay, we're finally putting it in. So don't cover me in the comments. This is literally what it looks like on Nitro. It's a box with 2 lights and a camera. That's the whole thing. So we recreated that kind of energy here. And not all of the lights are programmable. So do your due diligence. Maybe I should do a programmable one too. I don't know. We'll see what I create in my videos. But not all of the lights are programmable, so be mindful of that. So we took our basic light, we stuck it with this submarine lens, which looks like a camera lens. Like, how great is that? And then here's what you do. You set the sequence on the ride, you take your point and you move it to where you want it on the ride, and then you timeline it just like you do a video when you're editing a video for YouTube. It's that simple, or like a TikTok video, right? So that's what we did here. And what I did was I put 2 lights in and I alternated the 2 lights to create the flashing effect. And there you have it. We've got an on-ride video, right? Or on-ride photo section that works. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave you guys with some glamour shots from here on out. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. It has been such a pleasure creating this stuff for you. Let's keep on having fun. And until the next one, keep on building. Have a great one. Enjoy.